I'm excited to have you for another week at the Wolfeboro Exchange here from the studio here at Wolfeboro Community TV. So we're going to cover tonight. We're going to cover the November 6th Board of Selectmen's meeting. Some things happened there that I think are important to everyone out there. So we're going to get right into it with the first clip, and then I'll give you some commentary on it. We got all this fun stuff going on behind me too, which is you'll see throughout this, but we're going to talk about it very shortly here. But this is a DOT presentation on the two proposed roundabouts here in Wolfeboro. So you're going to see these intersections up here, and we'll discuss those shortly. But those are going to run the entire time that I'm speaking, so that's pretty cool, actually. That's that normal wood background. This is much better. I can highlight it right here. So we're going to go to that November 6th clip. The Board of Selectmen met and talked about a lot of different things, but they covered single track. Trail builder is out there at the Abenaki facility, currently building trails. They call them boardwalks. So some new trails are being built up at Abenaki, and that was the first. That's how the meeting kind of started off, and then we're going to jump into this clip that Tim has racked up here on the computer.
We have another issue. There is no MOU or agreement with the Friends of Kingswood Hockey and the school district, correct?
It's with the town.
My question. There is no MOU with Kingswood Hockey and the school district, correct?
Verbal only.
Verbal only. Okay. So I have an issue then when the lease agreement starts quoting the Governor Wentworth Regional School District's policy manual, doesn't even include all of its policies, doesn't include NHIAA policies, but yet there's no formal agreement with the school district. So who enforces the school district's policies? The school? They don't have an agreement with you. You don't have an agreement with them. This is a huge issue.
Some of what I think you'd be referencing is covered under their agreement directly with Pop Whalen, and not necessarily
Whose agreement with Pop Whalen?
the school's rental of the ice.
The school's rental of the ice comes to the town, and we don't have any of that referenced in our lease agreement with them either. So we have a runaround where nothing is covered and nothing is corrected.
If I may, it also states here that the enforcement is by the coaches. So if there is the policy that we reference, it states that it will be enforced by the coaches.
But
as the coaches are employees of...
Yeah, but you don't have an agreement with the school, so again, what's the mechanism if the coaches are from the school and you don't have an agreement with the school, and we have no purview or control over the school or the coaches? This doesn't work.
Which part exactly?
All of 5D doesn't work. It can't be in this agreement.
Okay.
Well, just to clarify, well, I'll say that D was at the request of the district. The superintendent asked for that specifically to be added, and was otherwise okay with the agreement, but she felt that that was needed to protect the intent and the spirit of specifically that policy of allowing or not allowing people.
So then we need documentation from her.
So what Brian's talking about here is an MOU agreement, which is a document the town uses to come up with an agreement with a user. This being Kingswood Hockey. Currently, the rink has MOU agreements with Back Bay, Friends of Back Bay, Brewster Academy, and Friends of Kingswood Hockey. So the Friends raised money to use the locker rooms when the new rink was built, and so now they're launching into a second MOU for the second year that identifies who's responsible for what. Obviously we talked about on my last show, we talked about some things that went down at the Pop Whalen during its first season. We had an outbreak of mold in some of the locker rooms. We had some things that were brought into the locker rooms unauthorized. Brian actually references it at one point. There was a TV installed in one of the locker rooms, and an extension cord that was used for the TV was draped over the ceiling tiles in order to get power into the locker room. So what Brian's trying to establish here is who's responsible, one, for these locker rooms, who's going to be handling the enforcement of what goes on in those locker rooms, the care of those locker rooms, so that we don't run into issues like we had last year moving forward. Interesting in the course of the conversation, I think we learned that, one, if you didn't know before, the Friends group is separate from Kingswood Regional High School, and so Kingswood, the school, pays for the ice, and then the Friends were able to raise the money and come up with the money to secure the 2 locker rooms. They were able to go out last year and raise the money that was required because the school district wouldn't or didn't want to, and the Friends went out there and raised the money. So they're just trying to come up with an agreement of understanding that works and covers the security, the health and welfare of the students while they're in the locker rooms, and who's ultimately responsible. It was an interesting part of the meeting, so I wanted to highlight that. The board will be finalizing those agreements at the next meeting on the 20th. They also finalized a lease agreement for the new it's not new, but it's a new groomer for the Abenaki facility, snow groomer for the mountain, and they're going to be purchasing they have roughly $75,000 in the capital reserve fund that they be using as the down payment, and then they'll be purchasing a new groomer for Abenaki. It's a lease, so it's $140,000 for the lease. In other news, important news, so when the budget season happens, obviously the town manager goes through the budget with his department heads, and he takes the first cut at the budget. The Board of Selectmen then does the next cut, or they take the second look at it. The Board of Selectmen has finished their review of the budget. The budget's coming in just over $36 million. Currently, it's at a 9.2% increase, and the budget's heading off to the Budget Committee for their review of the budget. So now the Budget Committee will start having meetings at Town Hall over the next couple of weeks, and they'll be going through the budget as well and making cuts where they can. And then we're going to go to, so the meeting was about a 2.5 hour long meeting. The next topic that I wanted to cover, and we'll go to the clip here in a second, but the Selectmen are also the trustees for the Libby Museum, and they act as the trustees for the Libby. So you'll remember that 2 years ago there was a warrant article which needed 60% of the vote to pass, and it ultimately failed, and that was for a renovation of the Libby. So since then, there's been money set aside in a capital reserve fund, but not much has been done. They've been looking at what needs to be done. So earlier this summer, you may be aware that the Libby was shut down early. There was mold found, and it was recommended that the board close the Libby temporarily while the investigation of the mold kind of played out. And so the town ended up bringing in this company called Turner, and the Turner report is what they're going to be referencing in this conversation here. The Turner report is now available. It had just got, the night of the meeting, the November 6th meeting, it had just gotten handed over to the head of Public Works, and he was able to give us a small tidbit of information about it, but basically after a period of time where engineers were allowed to go inside underneath, they cut some holes in the floor. They were able to go up into the ceiling area and towards the back wall of the Libby. They found that in that report, and it was supposed to be on the town website. I've checked. Currently, it is not yet, but the report is supposed to show that basically in the end result of what came out of it, and we're going to dig into it deeper when we have the actual report in front of us, but basically it was advised that the town make preparations to empty the museum of the current artifacts and move them off-site. So that's kind of where we were left. And then during this meeting, the Heritage Commission, which is a commission here in Wolfeboro, Heritage Commission, headed by Maggie Steer and a few other people, came to the microphone and talked about the Libby and proposed some ideas to the board and to the trustees. So we'll go ahead and play that clip now.
As you may know, the Preservation Alliance named the Libby Museum to its 2024 Seven to Save list last month. A 4-minute video about the museum and why it was listed is on our website, nhpreservation.org, under the Seven to Save tab. I actually launched the Seven to Save program in 2006, so it's almost 20 years old. It was modeled after national and other state examples that call attention to threatened historic places, thereby boosting the process of attracting new interest and finding creative solutions, municipal, nonprofit, business, to save and revive them. The Pickering House and the Town Hall were both previous Seven to Saves with wonderful outcomes. The Libby was added to this list for its architectural significance as an example of early 20th century interest in natural history, cultural philanthropy, and the dire need to address structural issues caused by its unique design that allowed excess moisture into the walls of the building.
So, some interesting things going on. We've gone through a series of reports over the last couple of years looking at the Libby, and there's both the structural needs and then the HVAC needs in the building that have been identified over the course of time. The Libby's the building's in tough shape. So there's a lot of there's a lot of information out there about the Libby. This Turner report hopefully will identify action items and give us an area to start to look at, what needs to be done, what can be done, and then, the tough questions need to be asked. How much is it going to cost, and what is the appetite of the voters to put money into this building. So I think once we're able to, once the board and the town manager and Public Works is able to dig into this report, and then once the report has been dug into and they can go out and get accurate estimates of what we're looking at for potentially for repairs and mitigation to the building. I think there's going to be some tough questions that need to be asked and some tough decisions that need to be made moving forward with the Libby and what the Libby looks like going forward. So that's something to stay tuned to. It's been up on the radar for a while, but I think this report will really lend and magnify what the issues really are and how we move forward from here. So stay tuned for that. We're going to dig into that. It's supposed to be up on the town website along with the Seven to Save video that Maggie referenced in her dialogue up there before the microphone. So some interesting things going on at the last Selectmen's meeting, and that pretty much covers that portion of it. What we're going to go to next, and I'll kind of lead into it with very good friend of mine who's pretty astute of things going on in town. I was talking to him last week, and we were hanging out having lunch, and I mentioned the roundabouts and the Pickering Corner roundabout and the potential for a roundabout up McManus Road, Pleasant Valley. And one, he knew nothing about it, which it surprised me, but it really didn't. He actually thought I was joking about it. He kept saying, "Come on, you're just making this stuff up, you know. There's no way Wolfeboro is ever going to have a roundabout." Well, this is why I think it's important that we continue to hammer this issue that, you know, New Hampshire DOT is actively, you see them on the side of the road. If you drive up or down, you know, South Main Street, you'll see survey crews out there for the last couple of weeks, last couple of months even, identifying trees and everything else. And they've been working to come up with various scenarios moving forward for both Pickering Corner and the area up by McManus Road. Behind me playing right now is the McManus Road potential roundabout. And what you're seeing there in the board behind me is potential scenarios, okay? You can see in one corner you have the existing conditions, and these are traffic patterns, and these traffic patterns are AM, PM, and then they go off-season, peak season, okay? So you'll see existing conditions, then you'll see enhanced striping in the other upper corner, a four-way stop intersection, which would put a new road, that four-way stop at the Pickering, you'd see a completely, well, that's actually at McManus, you see the road going across to Catapache, the entrance into the Arts Center, and then traffic going north and south with the four-way stop. And then you see the circle on the mini circle there. So we're going to switch and go to Pickering Corner. So this I'll talk a little bit during this, but you'll see here AM peak hour, average weekday, and then you'll see the four conditions here, the four different scenarios. What's existing, your all-way stop, and this is AM. Look at that traffic building up on that all-way stop there. The signal, and then you have the roundabout, and it's sped up a little bit there, but that's you'll see that the AM. Then you get the peak, you get the PM peak, which is coming on right now. There it is. So you see PM peak, even with the all-way stop there, you got traffic backing up a little bit coming into town. And this, you know, you can go on the New Hampshire DOT website and you can look at they have a much longer clips of these two different locations. You got PM peak season, PM peak hour during peak season. So PM peak. So you see even in the, but this is important to remember too when we talk about the circle, no circle lights, okay? DOT has been very clear that any of these scenarios during the heavy summertime traffic, any of these scenarios will not take care of the congestion. There's nothing that can be done that will completely clear up the summer traffic congestion. These will help, but they are not going to completely clear up what you might think of as summertime traffic. So then you got AM peak hour, average weekday. You remember there, you got you know, you can see the traffic flowing nicely in that roundabout scenario right there. One up the hill, up from Center Street to Pickering Corner. So you can see that traffic coming in and out. And so this is, I think the more people that see this, it's gonna click in their minds that, and we're gonna go to the PM peak hour, average weekday too. I think it's gonna click in people's minds that one, this is going on. and decisions are being made. The notice was put up last week. It's on the Town of Wolfeboro website. This Wednesday night, so that's this Wednesday, November 13th, at 6:30 at the Wolfeboro Town Hall, second floor, the Board of Selectmen will hold a public forum session to present the board's matrix and the proposed layouts of the intersection of New Hampshire DOT Project 29615. So, this is the Board of Selectmen, DOT will be there, and this is an opportunity for the public to review the proposed project options, ask questions, provide feedback to the board. The first hour of this public forum will allow citizens time to view this matrix, the data, the maps, and then the board will take public comment and questions. If you go to the town website, you can also get a link directly to this information on the DOT website. So that's this Wednesday. That, you know, if you want to be heard, this is one of the opportunities that you can potentially be heard at. You know, these are, you know, unlike what my friend thought, these things are happening, and decisions are being made that will impact not only traffic but impact Wolfeboro and the look of Wolfeboro potentially for generations. So these are important. These are big decisions that are being made. So if you're around, you can attend that. You know, I think it'll be a very informative, and it'll be an opportunity to ask questions. So that's all I have for news. I would, I find it important to, continue to give you guys what's going on here in Wolfeboro. So I'm on the Chamber website right now, and this Wednesday, and I covered this last time, the Calla Gallery is presenting their first annual Little Black Dress Evening. Ladies, join us for an evening of dress up, fun wear, wear your favorite outfit, try on jewelry, and sip some bubbly. It's the Calla Gallery in Wolfeboro, Wednesday the 13th from 6:29 p.m. to 8:30. The Calla Gallery is in the Wolfeboro Marketplace, which is 33 North Main Street. Please RSVP. You can go to the Calla Gallery, CallaJewelryStudio.com is the website, or 569-3994. This coming weekend, Branch and Bloom Holiday Open House. That's Thursday the 21st through, actually it's next weekend, Thursday the 21st through Saturday the 23rd. It's 35 Center Street, Clark Plaza, Suite 5. That's Thursday and Friday from 9 to 5:30. Friendsgiving is happening Friday the 22nd from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Wolfeboro Inn. Join us for Friendsgiving Fest on the 22nd and 23rd from 4 to 9, where the community and friendship can come together around and sit at the table. Sit down dinner will be served in the charming 1812 and cafe space. Reservations are required to secure your seat, as walk-ins will not be accepted. So that's at the Wolfeboro Inn, and they're doing adults are $45, kids 12 and under are $15. They got a whole main course, smoked turkey dinner, apple stuffed acorn squash, pumpkin pie, and apple crisp for dessert. And then you got Saturday the 23rd, 32nd annual turkey trot, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is put on by Wolfeboro Parks and Recreation. Registration for kids is $5 before, day of $20. For the 5K, I mean, sorry. Pre-registration is $25 for adults, $30 day of. First 125 attendees will get a T-shirt, and it starts at the railroad station in downtown Wolfeboro. Check-in begins at 8 o'clock, and the race starts promptly at 9 a.m. Medals for the top finishers. So that's what's going on here in Wolfeboro, and those are the events that are happening. And we covered the Board of Selectmen meeting for the November 6th. We'll be looking tonight is a zoning board meeting, and so we'll be covering zoning and planning during next week's show. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk soon, and we'll see you soon. Wolfeboro Community TV.